All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live on Wrestling Revolution Keaton YouTube channel along with his Facebook account. We are live. I'm here, Kesha Crossan, 5-time with Wrestling Revolution Keaton, Kid of Rock.
Hello, buddy.
Kid of Rock
Yep,
slogan, NIPW. In training as we speak, right?
yep,
And
entrant.
and yes, we're doing Kayfabe with Keaton, and we got a great guest lined up today. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that we want to talk about quick before that, but there's really no new news really or development. Did you see Forward the other day, Keaton, with notice
No, I
John
didn't get to it.
McCann? John McCann didn't make it.
Oh, I know John McCann couldn't make it.
Yeah, he slipped out and the bird flew in.
Canary saving the day again.
Canary came in and filled in for him. You know, even though he's in Canada,
Legend.
in this estate. But yeah, he came in and yeah, you know, as I told you, Keaton. Now that Ricky's out of my grasp, all the smack talk coming right out of his mouth again, just like it was like he didn't miss a beat. But boy, it's funny when I'm in person with him how he doesn't talk like that.
It's respect. He already stated that he didn't want to hurt an old man. And you already stated it yourself. You actually said this yourself. He didn't want to hurt an old man.
I said that.
Yeah,
I
you
said
said
that.
the Canary wouldn't do that because he didn't want to hurt an old man. Yep.
No, I've never said that. Well, you know what? I'm glad he has that thought process. But I'll tell you something. If I ever get in the ring with him, I'm not going to have that. I don't have any problem hurting him. So I hope he gets rid of that elder respect, because that's not the way it's going to be if we ever cross paths.
You see, if you remember, not too long ago, NIPW Wrestle Clash, you were extremely hurt. You had a busted lip, and yep, after getting clothesline from the Canary Kid, and that's when he didn't mean to. Can you imagine if he has the intentions to hurt you?
Keaton, you're just a regular comedian. You got to remember, I got hit when I wasn't expecting it. It'll be totally different in a match, but that was a nice try there. Nice try to bring that up like that. I like that. I like that. All right. Well, we got a guest waiting, and we can talk about that more. But we're going to bring our guest in today. Now. Tell me about our guest. Like, let's a little introduction. Like, he's I've heard one of the more prominent referees in Northern Ireland.
Yep,
In
he's
Ireland, I guess you could say.
yeah in Ireland. He's more based in Ireland, but he's
Yeah.
from Ireland. So, but he's one of the most prominent, most famous referees in all of Ireland. He's refereed for OTT, and he frequently does maybe a lot of spots in the ring. He's been drop kicked by Gunther before, WWE wrestler. He runs his own company where he made a comic before along with someone called One Fall.
Mhm.
So he's highly involved in wrestling.
So he's taking
And,
bumps as well, as what you're saying.
yeah,
Ref
I'm one
bumps,
of the
yeah.
main referees, one of the most famous and fan favorites in OTT. One of the main referees in OTT.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, that's the fun thing for a referee to be able to take a bump here and there, and we'll talk about it with Niall. But that makes it fun for a referee, you know. Not that I'm a ref, but that's like when I ref that match with Canary and Ben. That was like the first time I've refed in a long time. Like, because I don't think the last time I actually refereed would have been way, and like after a while I just kept wrestling. I didn't ref anymore, you know, when I was back in the 80s. So I can't even remember when the last time I actually refed. So, and you think my count was slow and everything. We'll talk to it's fine. It's funny that we got I'm glad we got a referee, because we can kind of clear some of this stuff up, I think, with you, Keaton, when we start talking about counts and speed and all that kind of stuff. So let's get our guest in here. He's waiting, and we'll get the show on the road, and then we'll start bringing your comments in and everything. So here we go. All right, Niall, welcome in.
Hello there. Hello there.
One of the most prominent referees in OTT and down in Dublin area, right?
Yes, one of very few referees. Anyway, I'd be the longest tenured referee.
Sure.
That'd be the more modest way to say it.
Yep. And well, now Keaton, I know you got a ton of questions, but I just want to know right off the bat, how long have you been refereeing?
I've been involved in wrestling for 19 years.
Wow.
And I've been a referee for 15 of those.
And what were you doing the first 4?
Wrestling.
So you were a wrestler and then went ref.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
well,
I did the old route. It's like, oh yeah, I wrestle in a mask, so therefore the promoter said, right, you can ref. Great.
So you
Great
weren't doing like the double duty where you were out of the mask, in the mask type wrestler.
No, I was in the mask wrestling, but like then I'd referee out of the
Referees
mask.
that don't have a mask.
I think it'd be a gimmick in itself if I refed with the mask.
Most
So-
people would go the other way, like I did. Just recently, like where you're wrestling and then you went to then you become referee, do more referee type of thing. But you went the opposite. Sounds.
Yeah, like I as I said, I trained to be a wrestler. Now I think that's every kid's dream, like when they get in. And I was just trying to find my way in wrestling. Like what can I do, or what is a thing that I can help on a show?
Sure.
And it just so happened that with the gimmick that I had, which was a mask gimmick, the promoter was like, okay, you're gonna wrestle, but I need a referee for the second half, or I need a ref for the first half, and you can wrestle the second half.
Sure.
And that went on for a little bit, and then slowly but surely, like the wrestling bookings got less and less, and the ref bookings got more and more as it came to be. So.
Well, I don't want to steal away all the questions with Keaton, so I'm going to let him loose here and let him get going on some of his questions. I probably already took a few of them, Keaton. Huh? But let's go ahead, Keaton. Why don't you get started with some of your questions? And
Yeah, well, so thanks very much, Niall, for coming on today. It's a pleasure having you on. So, what was your very first memory of wrestling?
First memory of wrestling was Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart. That was my first memory of wrestling, and yeah, like I was a fan. I was hooked on wrestling like very early on, but they were the first memory, and as you do, you wouldn't really focus on it, but you kind of drift apart, but then you'd come back to it. So my real interest came in when Attitude Era. So
Yeah,
as
sure.
most people my generation, as it turns out. So, but yeah, I've been hooked ever since.
so that's when it was for you, Attitude Era. That's when you started watching.
That's when I started watching regularly.
Okay.
Like because I was only like 4 or 5 when like Bret Hart and Hogan were still about. So
like if that was Attitude Era, Hogan Hart, that must have been a WCW then.
no. I mean like in WWF, like this would have been they would have been the first memories.
Okay,
of
so your
wrestling
first
that I have.
memories, but then you really
Yes.
started watching it during the Attitude Era.
Yes.
Okay, I get you.
Apologies.
Yep.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Again, Attitude Era, just something about it was gritty, it was dark. It was something that it was different. It was different to what I had remembered from my early childhood. It wasn't bright and cartoony. It was actually like I like them. Like they're smaller like than the usual like wrestlers. Like they're doing flips. Oh, I like them.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned the bright and cartoony, because that's what it was. That's what wrestling transitioned to during the '80s with Vince and trying to attract to the kids. Now, I was a fan in the early '80s before that happened, so I was all like, "This is real. Wrestling's real." And so when Vince started going down that road to appeal to the kids, I wasn't a fan of it.
Mm.
Like I like the older traditional NWA, AWA style, where this is a real, the illusion is it's real, right?
Yes.
And I wasn't a fan of all that, especially when they started doing clowning around stuff like weddings and pie fights and all this stuff like that. I'm like, this isn't wrestling. It was in my mind. So
as I got older, like I find that like so everyone's taste will change
yeah,
as you get older, and I found that I'm no different. My taste changed, but the older I get, the more I can appreciate why it had to go in that direction, and if it didn't, we probably wouldn't have as many the the warrant for the Attitude Era, the pushback, so to speak, on it's like we're sick of this kid stuff, we're sick of this like cartoon stuff. Let's get back to real gritty, like let people believe it again. It can still be like you can still pepper with like entertainment, but you have to make them feel and connect with someone. So
you're right. And remember too, pro wrestling's always been a roller coaster of popularity. from the 50s. It's had its ups and it's had its downs.
Absolutely.
So and it continues to do that. I think it always will. Yeah. Let me get a couple comments in, Keaton, before you continue, just so we don't fall behind. Your usual 1 minute Jesse Jackhammer says hello to Keaton.
Hello, Jess.
And Darren Whiteside says, Niall, that is some crib. What's your favorite item in that room out of all that memorabilia back there?
All the stuff. Hold on. Actually, yeah. So this is one of my favorite things, simply because a fan gave it to me, and the fact that they took the time to make it. So.
Oh, a custom referee.
Yeah.
A fan made that for you?
A fan made this for me.
Wow, that's really good.
So now the information isn't completely accurate on the back, but still, like, time and effort was put into this. And again,
let me see that again. Bring it up close so we can see the figure.
Sorry, apologies.
No, that's okay. That's really good work. That looks just like you. Wow.
Yeah, until he told me what figurine he used to get it.
Oh, yeah, because he always kind of customized one, right?
Yeah, he kind of spliced together a few different figurines, but
yeah,
he used James Ellsworth to do it. I was like, no, but still, it's fun. Like, I can't argue with it.
It's got to be your favorite. I would see where that would be my favorite too if I had that. I have one too, but I made it myself. But they have a fan make one for you. That's cool.
It's really good.
Hey, you have a good collection behind you yourself, so don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, those are all NWF belts, but I had them all replicated. They weren't as nice as that back in the day, because in the 80s there was no avenue to get championship belts like there is today. You had to either make them yourself, because nobody knew how to get a hold of Reggie Parks. He was the only one making them. Even like Eddie Sharkey, who was a local, pretty prominent promoter, didn't know how to get a hold of Reggie Parks, but the big leagues did, obviously. So we had to make them ourselves. But now, years later, now that there's so many belt makers, I could actually get them properly replicated,
Yes.
Yeah, which is cool. Here's another comment from Wrestling Insider. Have you ever been approached by any other companies outside of the OTT?
Yes, I have been approached. It's just, again, a lot of the time it just comes down to timing. So, again, they either can't bring me over a certain time, or the schedule doesn't work out where I can go. But in terms, if you're trying to hint at like big companies, no, like not WWE or AEW, if that's what you're thinking. No, like to happily take their money, as anyone would, but still, but a few big independents have come to me in the past, and it's just a case of timing. Just hasn't worked out.
Well, the guy that I ended up training with, Eddie Sharkey, he was a local promoter in Minnesota. So when Vince would come to Minneapolis, he would use Eddie as a referee. So like he'd contact him and say, "Hey, I need a ref," because Eddie Sharkey would ref in the AWA back in the day when him and Vern were on good terms, and like they would referee. He'd referee. He's known to be that he could ref. He, like a lot of guys, he was a wrestler that went into refereeing. And of course training, but so anyways, what I'm saying is like they would contact the local people in the area, right? Like, hey, we need a ref. We're having a house show. We need a ref, and they would use him, and he would referee. And because I knew him, then I could get into the back, because I was working with him at the time, and it was always cool to get anytime you could get into the back with a big show like that, and intermingle with the guys was always a fun deal. But
absolutely, especially to be able to pick the brain of people as well.
Yeah. But the thing I remember, though, about the guys back then, though, Niall, is they were so secretive. Well, they weren't so secretive, but they were just so overworked and tired, and like they just wanted to get the night over and get to the next town. It's like, and you could see it on their faces.
Yes.
And that was during the working era. Like you were working, like you had very few days off with the WWF in those days.
Yeah,
it was all house shows and everything.
Yeah. Like crazy schedules. Schedules.
But his point is that it was so that's what we're kind of getting at here with this question. Like, like would you have a reputation, do you think, to be able to be approached by bigger companies? Like if they ever came into the area?
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I've worked with Jesus. If you were to look at main roster WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, I've
Sure.
worked with a massive amount of people that
Yeah.
could possibly say yay or nay, he's good or he's bad. So
And that's what it
uh,
takes to get a reputation, and then
Mhm.
they spread the word, you know.
yes.
So yeah. All right, Keaton, we'll let comments build for a while, so we'll let you go at it again.
So when you were watching wrestling or whatever specific wrestling match, was there what point made you say to yourself, I want to do this, or I want to be a referee or a wrestler?
TLC 2. Once I seen TLC 2, I I was I was completely hooked into the idea of like, okay, this looks like something I could do. And bear in mind that when I seen TLC 2, this was 2001, so I would have been 11. So I had to I just had this thought. It's like, okay, I might be able to do this, but again, it didn't exist in Ireland at that time. Wrestling did not exist in 2001. It wouldn't be for another year before actually
Yeah,
a school came about.
with
So
Tracy and Ballor.
yes, I sadly I was far too young. Like I didn't know about it until I was a lot older.
And then, so when you were watching wrestling and stuff, did you always want to be a referee? Was there a specific referee that you maybe, or a match that made you want to be a referee?
Uh, Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner is like I consider him
Oh
the
yeah,
go. Him and Charles Robinson, like just there was always something about Charles Robinson, and I wasn't a massive WCW fan, but I was a fan of Charles Robinson's work because he stood out in the right way to me that I started looking at his reactions to things, and it's who I actually study if I'm looking for like, okay, how does he approach this situation, or if he's asked to do this, like how does he get himself ready for this, or just in general, how does he conduct himself? Like I did like a few years ago, I did a small little I jumped onto an online seminar with Jimmy Corderas, and just it was mind blown, like in just little details that I was kind of like vindicated because I had no one to teach me how to do this job. I had to learn on the job.
Yeah.
So when I finally got to learn from outside sources, like actual people, like that have been there and done that on a high level, it was great to see. Like, okay, I'm doing that. I didn't know about that. Okay, I'll have to start taking that now. Like but it was really intriguing to see. Like, okay, I, I must be doing all right because again, there wasn't that many things that I had to uh change how I did it. It
Right.
was more just like, okay, I'm trying to do it without piercing the veil, so to speak. So, uh, to be able to communicate better without giving away to a crowd in different scenarios. So, there's a spill to the outside. How am I going to check on them while still maintaining the official account without, but giving them enough time that if they are a little bit hurt, can they actually like hear me and get in? Like hear the communications, like little things like that I didn't grasp early on, but to be able to know, okay, that makes more sense when you actually look at it then. But
Sure.
yeah, yeah. That's
You know,
actually
and another thing, Keaton, I have to stop you for a minute. Can you bring your mic a little closer, get closer to your mic? Because they're saying in the comments that,
hello.
yeah, I think I was just having trouble hearing you. So maybe if you're a little closer to it, is all.
Righto.
And now,
I gotcha.
yeah, you're definitely louder now. So hopefully that works, Molly. Let us know if it doesn't. But you know, when you're talking about how do you ref, I can relate because when I came back to NIPW here just a few months ago to ref, I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? I only know how they ref back in the day. So I basically just ref the way an old school ref would do it. And I would do things like they'd always do with us. Like one of the things, and I don't know if you do it anymore, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but if somebody had any kind of submission, any kind of hold that they could give up, our refs would always be like, hey, like for instance, if it was Ricky, it'd be, hey, Canary, what do you say? You had enough? Let me know right now. I'll ring the bell. Right? No, he says
Still do
no.
that.
He says no. Right?
Still do that.
So that's still a thing. Because I was doing that.
Still a thing.
I was just wondering, like, am I doing this too old school or not?
No, like it's. I find that like for a referee, your job is to help them put on the best match possible. You are there to sell what they're trying to put down. You are also there to add in whatever way you can, whether that being a bump, a spot, like communication in midway through. You are also there as a first response. You are there to mediate if something has gone wrong, and you have to be able to make that call. Okay, you're hurt. How bad is it? Okay, right. Boom, ring it. Boom, we're done.
Right.
Save you, because a lot of these lads will just go out there and wrestle. And I know that is done back in the day, but what we know now is very different to back then. And I'd rather save you and let you wrestle more matches in the future than have you do more damage now that you can never wrestle.
Sure.
So, and you need to be able to make that call on a split second, like increment,
Right.
which can be. You have to be calm, cool, collected in those moments. You have, again, you're there. We're there to have fun. We're there to entertain. We're there to like put on a good show. But again, very real things do happen. So therefore, you have to be level head in. It could even be a breakdown between the two participants of the match. You need to be able to step in there and say, "Act right. Come on, sort it out later."
Yeah, if they start potatoing each other or anything like that. Yeah.
You need to be able to call them and be like, "Here, calm down. Calm down."
Yeah.
And if there is a receipt, you have to say, "Right, that's it. It's done. Come on, let's continue.
Back on track."
Back on track. So
yeah, and the other thing, this guy over here accuses me of he says I was too slow of a count. I was, look, this was a classic championship match, and back in the day, championship matches they wanted the drama, so the counts were a bit slower.
Yes.
So I was just trying to do that, but this guy over here is like, this guy over here is like, you were just too slow. You were just favoring Ben. You were favoring Ben. I wasn't favoring Ben. I was just making the count slow. I tell you this though, Niall, I'd rather have a slow counting ref than a fast counting ref. I don't want to get robbed.
Like, so I will admit that, like, over the years, I've changed my cadence completely, and several times to either match mainly to match the tempo of the match and what it needs. If a big superplex has happened, it's like, okay, give them a second, slow 2, 1, 2, boom, big kick out. Like, build a drama, build a tension. Yeah. Like, I will dictate that if I need to. Most of the time, I'm working with people that know exactly what they want to do, how they want to convey it. So, most of the time, it's just me helping them. Right. It's like, I'll give you a second. I know that took the wind out of you, so slow. Right now, 1, 2, kick. It varies. It varies throughout the years. Like, and different people will want different. They'll either want you to be super intense and super on it, or they'll want you to be like, okay, just relax a little bit, calm down. We'll wait and see.
Well, it's funny. It's funny though, because like I showed them the pace. I said, "My guys, my count's going to be like this," and they're like, "Yeah, that's fine." And I asked them about it later, and they're like, "Well, I don't remember." Well, they were so ready for the match, they didn't even remember me talking about it. But the other thing too, the one thing I did mess up on when I reffed is the double count. That was their moment to get their breath, and normally this is a slow count, and I went really fast. I was like 1, 2.
Lad, calm down. We're dying here.
And this is like they're trying to catch their breath, and I raced through these counts, and so if I could go back, I'd definitely slow that down.
But that's the thing. Like, it's good when someone can understand, okay, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right. Let's learn from that. And next time I'll be better suited to handle that situation and to not to say that you won't make mistakes again. It's just once you're learning from these mistakes and being able to better handle them or to help someone else handle the situation better.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Keaton, I got a couple comments to bring in here quick, and then I'll let you loose again. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so let's start with Darren. He said this. What's behind the big interest in wrestling lately? It seems like shows are sold out up and down the island of Ireland.
It's the big interest. Oh, Janie Mac. Just we have an amazing like crop of talent that are like finally stepping up, like and showcasing why they should be. They are the current and future of Irish wrestling, but not only that, they're being able to mix it up with some of the biggest indie names and some contracted people names in the business, like which is mind blowing to actually think of because last October we had the Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor against two of our own in Matthew Bullis Smith and Sean Maxer Brennan.
Social
and
elite.
yes, the social elite. And it just the idea that that match would happen is crazy. But the fact that two contracted WWE main roster talent, and then not only that, they are the tag team champions at the time, are going to perform in the National Stadium for an independent promotion. That is mind blowing.
Yeah,
So
there's a time when that would never happen.
yeah, absolutely. Like it's absolutely mind blowing that would even be a possibility of an idea.
Yeah.
But with the interest of the new talent, and it's just we're in an era where you truly can never say never because again it's we're having contracted people from TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, like a who's who of like talent come through our doors, mix it up with our talent, elevate them, and just try to put on the best shows that we can. So if people are finding that they're invested in that, like I can't really explain it, to be honest. It's because again, there's so many different factors into what goes into it. And again, we talked about wrestling having popularity that goes in waves. So I'd imagine this is a bleed on effect from like Cody Rhodes and WrestleMania, the build up and telling the story and finishing the story. That's a bleed on effect, like the gaining of interest and people want to see this, but it's had a knock on effect on indie promotions around the world, like without a doubt. So
And then
yeah.
And then Darren says this: will you guys be at Comic-Con Northern Ireland again in September?
We shall. As far as I recall, it's been announced. As far as I recall, if not, you're getting it here. Oops, wasn't supposed to say that then. But yeah, we love doing it, and thankfully, Monopoly events love having us there as well, which is a great bonus. Just because we're all massive nerds as well. So it's great to just wander about in between little mini shows and just engage with Comic-Con and enjoy it.
And then Wrestling Insider says, Niall, who's your closest pal in OTT? I loved your dance off with Session Moth.
I think my closest would be Dennis Murphy, who is our ring announcer for Over the Top Wrestling. He's I've had so much fun working with him these last several years now. It's just amazing. We make each other like laugh when we shouldn't laugh, and we make very inappropriate jokes just to crack each other purposely just to break the other. So, but no, like it just we hang out when we can and we have fun when we do. Very similar interests, but again, like the beauty of being a referee is that I have to talk with everyone. So I like to consider myself like I'm friends with everyone, and I enjoy interacting with people. I do. Everyone will always have those moments where like, okay, I'm introverted, I don't want to do this, but where I'm an introvert with extroverted tendencies.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing at a show, if I'm not doing anything like that, I'm at home. I'm a hermit. I stay at home. I don't come out unless I have to. But to get back to it, Dennis Murphy would be my closest pal at the moment. Session Ma is still a really fucking close friend to me. Love her to bits. Like, but and there's so many others. Like again, like, jeez, I'll list off the names.
Yeah.
But yeah, that no, like I couldn't just list off the names. Like I really couldn't. Like I wouldn't be
Sure.
fair.
So Keaton,
Loose again, yep. Okay, so you know you can tell how passionate about OTT you are. So how does it feel that you've came in here at the OTT when it kind of was building up confidence and building up to getting popularity, and that's one of the biggest promotions I suppose in Europe. It's a worldwide promotion. How does it feel to be there for the journey?
Insane.
Yeah.
Like on multiple levels, because we never thought it was actually gonna be what it has become. And I mean, like, I've been there since day one. Like this was purely thrown together as a way of bringing the best that Ireland has produced at the time and putting on the best show possible for an over 18s audience at the time. And no PG stuff. It was purely like for adults with relatable characters that anyone could go in, and with special offers on drink in the venue as well. That helped us a lot as well. It was dark, it was grungy, but it was a great night out, and somehow we managed to get big names coming through our doors. Little did we know these would be bigger names in the years to come,
Yeah.
but unbelievable, like to go from the Tivoli Theatre in Dublin to selling out the National Stadium with Bullet Club and Kenny Omega, like the Bucks. Like we've had Mick Foley, we've had Jenny Mac, like
Judgment Day.
yeah, we've had a who's who of like people. Like you've had Matt Riddle, you've had Keith Lee, you've had Pete Dunne, you've had grizzled young veterans. Like it just, again, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Alistair Black, like a massive amount of different names walked through our doors at one point or another. Like, and we're obviously doing something right because people want to be here. People want to come here and wrestle. It's almost become not necessarily a stepping stone, more of a milestone place to go before they go on to bigger and better things. They have to pass through our doors just to experience our crowd. And yeah, like to see where it's built from, like throughout the 10 year plus, it's, yeah, boggles the mind. Like, didn't see this for wrestling on the bingo card.
No, and I suppose OTT is kind of hard to explain, but they kind of like defied the odds of Irish wrestling. You know, like Finn Balor and Paul Tracy when they started up, that was obviously quite big. But OTT just brought it to a new level. Brought it worldwide to do trips to Nottingham, obviously, and that is a big fan base there. That's just a worldwide fan base, so it's incredible to see.
Like it, again with Finn Balor and Paul Tracy, like they started Irish wrestling. Like if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't exist here. And they started the first school, which was NWA Ireland back in 2002, which then therefore after a couple of years slowly became Fight Factory.
Yeah.
Fight Factory was taken over by Phil Boyd and Katie Harvey, who run it to this day now. You also had Irish Whip Wrestling, you had NLW Ireland, and you had a who's who of different like promotions pop up and down. But again, in regards to like Dublin, you had Main Stage Wrestling, which then transitioned into the early part of OTT, which therefore transitioned into the School of Irish Wrestling, which is now still running to this day as well. But to see the evolution with each like iteration of school and each generation that comes in, it's just amazing to see. Like I would actually kill if I knew now back then. Like if I knew what I know now back then, just insane, like absolutely insane what you could do back then. But I don't. So therefore, like with the likes of yourselves and like the people that are coming up now, like a Keane Noon and Matthew Bullis Smith, like people like that, like they're proving they're on the proven ground, like they're on the cusp of doing massive things. And I know Matthew Bullis Smith has done massive things already in his very short career, like 3 years in, and able to face Judgment Day. Crazy. Like,
I know.
and didn't look out of place. Like, so it just shows you the difference in what a wrestling student is now. Like the information just get absorbs into their brain, and they somehow have a better understanding of wrestling than we did back then, which is crazy. Like, but
Yeah, and you mentioned there, some of the big stars like maybe the Judgment Day or Carlito, who obviously came over before. These are obviously very big names that we have got over. When refereeing these matches, is it hard to keep your professionalism, seeing you've watched them maybe through your life, and are now trying to just be a neutral professional referee?
the only person that ever made me turn into a kid again was Mick Foley. He was
Before,
the
yeah.
only one to make me feel like a kid again. And that's not a knock on anyone else that, like WWE wise, that we've had. It's just there was something about Foley that is like, as I said, I became a kid again. He sat on a bus with me for 2 hours as we were traveling up to Belfast for a show, and I did not say one word. I just didn't want to act stupid. I was like, oh no, he's sitting beside me. Oh no, what do I do? like asking me questions every now and then. I'm like, I don't want to sound stupid. Oh no, someone help me. Like Mick Foley is the only one to do that to me, in that regard, to make me feel that way. Not because he's done it, and it's just because like it's Mick Foley. But in terms of, I do pride myself on being professional, and especially working with someone I've never met before. But if we happen to have them back, it does be even better, because then you've kind of figured out a little bit about how they like to work, what their temperament is, what their humor is. So therefore, it's a bit more relaxed. So therefore, I can have a bit of fun with them. I start cracking jokes in mid-match to them as well. Like, that's how comfortable I am with my job, is that I could show up 2 minutes before a show, and I could go out there and find out what I need to find out. I could even find it out in the ring. Like, so that's how comfortable I am with my job. And not that it's not a challenge. It is a challenge. It's stress because I have to do a whole show.
Yeah.
But it's But to me, I'm comfortable in my skills,
Mhm.
and I do like to be challenged. Like I like to be challenged by like working with as many different people as possible, learn about how they do things, how to go about stuff. But it's again, everything's a learning opportunity if you let it.
One thing that I noticed that's changed with matches, at least in my experience in the one match I refed, and that is that back in the day, your communication in the mid '80s, even when kayfabe, even when the cat was out of the bag and kayfabe
Mm.
was starting to become no longer, you still disguised your communication. So
Yep.
like if I'm in a match and I lock up, that's where I'm talking, or that's where I'm talking when I'm going, I'm disguising. I'm never just outright
Yes.
talking. Where now I notice they just communicate like if they need to. It's not as a hidden thing as it used to be. And as a referee, I could see it. I'm noticing this, and like my old school thought process is like, what the hell are you two doing? But then when I talk to people that were in the crowd, they're like, well, we didn't see anything like that.
Yep.
We didn't notice anything like that. It's funny how it's not noticeable to the fans as it is when you're up there reffing, is what I'm trying to say.
It's one of those things you'll notice it if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So for us who are involved in wrestling, we're looking for that. Like whether we want to or not, we're looking for it.
Mhm.
It's just ingrained in like since we started training. It's like you watch TV, you dissect it, you were like, all right, there's the call. Oh, that's how they got into this. Like you're always dissecting it, so therefore you're looking for it, which makes
Sure.
it incredibly hard to actually enjoy it as a fan once you join.
Right.
And the only time in recent memory that I was able to just shut my brain off and actually enjoy it as a fan, I had to go to an entirely different country entirely, like to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic because I didn't speak the language and I had to figure it out and be like, okay, they seem to be into this. I'm not looking for a call because I can't understand it, even if they do. But I could enjoy wrestling again.
Right.
And sometimes you need that. You need to just take yourself out of that like bubble and remind yourself why you do it.
Well, and for new fans, you're wondering like, well, why were you so critical about disguising it? You got to remember back in those days that the mentality was if they realize it's fake, they're not going to show up anymore.
Hmm.
So it was a protection of the business.
Yes.
Is why you disguised your talk so much in the ring. And now I think that's kind of like something that has evolved in the fact that kayfabe's no longer a thing, even though a lot of times we still play it, but it's not an actual deal. So they're not as the guard's not there anymore where they have to worry about it as much, is what I'm trying to say. From back in the day.
People can be more relaxed with it.
Yeah.
And I think because they're so relaxed in how they, and plus you have to understand that it's entirely different generation that approach it very differently to how it was back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They can have a respect for what came before, but again, whether we like it or not, this is the way wrestling is going.
Sure.
And it has to even though kayfabe is not considered, it's considered dead, but it's not really.
No.
Because
no, we do it all the time now. Like Ricky and I, we are in character and out of character all the time, and we do it intentionally. And I've had a number of people come up to me and say, you know what, we like that. We appreciate the fact that you're still treating it like kayfabe. So you're right, it's not gone.
No,
it's just different than what it used to be.
It's different from what it used to be, but you will get, and it is refreshing because there is a couple out there that do actually maintain kayfabe, whether it be like maintaining their character, the entire persona, whether they're out in the ring, ringside, fan interactions, they're fully in
still 100%.
Full character, even if they see them at a garage, like a garage, a petrol station. There you go.
Yeah.
Gas station. Even if they see them there, gas station. There you go. Sorry. I haven't been to America, so like those terminologies are still new. But like being at a gas station and being like full character, like maybe this could be like the most serious person, but they get the most like probably the fanciest or fruitiest drink ever. Like,
Right.
but they're so serious about it, and it's like, yep. So and
I know, and you think back to I think back to like WrestleMania and the tensions with Mr. T and Piper, and that was real. Like Piper was protecting the business even with
Yep.
the guy who was involved with it.
Mhm.
That was on the outside. It's
Mhm.
crazy. All right, Keaton. I know we gabbled away there, and I'm sure you got some questions to get
And when
to.
you speak about when we're speaking there about communicating in the ring, that's a very key point. In refereeing itself, if like a wrestler maybe got injured, or maybe you've had this kind of experience, but if a wrestler got injured or maybe fell off the top rope or something bad happened, and he didn't want the audience to know, I know the axe thing that is already exposed by now. So would it be any other signals, or how could you let the Joker Bray or the higher management or
The
upper
X
management
thing.
know without the referees noticing? I mean, without the
So
audience noticing.
now, like when a real injury happens, sorry, I don't care who knows. Like I'm throwing up an X. I'm saying it from the top of my voice. It's like X end match medic. Where it's done. Like it no, and if it's a minor injury that can be kind of worked around, like I will communicate with earpiece. So
Do you have
yes,
an earpiece when you're reffing?
yeah. Like
Okay.
this is I I invested it in getting this done for over the top wrestling because again, I'd seen it done in England, I'd seen it done in on TV in general,
Yeah.
and I'd never been taught how to do it. So I thought, right, we need this here because
Is
a
that
it will
is
be
that earpiece going with the commentators, with everybody? Or is
no,
it just
it's
certain?
going straight to whoever's at the behind the curtain.
Okay, so
So
whoever's running it.
it could either be with the promoter or it could be with someone I've chosen to keep times and give me like cues.
Okay.
Like so. But it's mainly so that like A, it covers my ass. Like B, it's also so like they know full well. It's like, okay, people have been told they've 2 minutes to go home. They have 1 minute to go home. Okay, they're over now, like, and they've been told. So it's out my hands now. You need to reprimand them after
Right.
because that affects later matches on the show.
And
So
speaking of communication, like I was one time at one point in this match I did, Ricky said, "Hey, tell Ben ropes," and so
Mm.
I knew that he would know what that meant. So the way I did it is the way they always do it in our day. I would just kind of have my hands up, come to Ben, and just tell him. I don't know how is it? How do you communicate these days? Like if you have to tell somebody something.
So like again, all this
Yeah.
it's not just for visual; it's
Right.
actually for function. So like using your arm outstretched like that, sound travels. So
Sure.
therefore, like,
Sure. Yeah.
so
That
you can
makes sense.
communicate your message. Like, do you give up? So you can hear.
Yep.
It's a soundboard. So it's like if they're at if he's on the ground, it'd be like I'll check on him. It's like you good, right? Go ropes. Like
Yep. Okay.
like I could be waving him off. It's like kind of in the direction. It's like or be like right, like I could even be like I'll be hold my hands out there, but I'm actually giving him a signal. It's like over there, like to the watch my hand over there. Like I'm pointing to this direction. So
Yeah, I just said the same thing. I had my hands up and kind of, and this guy over here in the crowd, don't get involved, Crusher. He's telling me, thinking like
but
I
you
was like,
can't.
yeah,
The signals are tried and true for a reason. Again,
right,
it's all theater, it's performance, and some people get really good at it, and then some people stand out for the wrong reasons for it.
right.
So I won't name names because they're friends. They're a mutual friend of a friend of mine. So it's like no, don't want to throw them under the bus. So,
Sure.
but like they're with a big company and they've gotten a lot of flack. So I don't want to do that to them.
Right.
So not the way I would do it, but what do I know? I'm not there. That's the way I look at it. It's like, look, right, you can throw all the hate you want, but like again, they're there. I'm not.
Right.
Simple as. So maybe I should start doing that. Just put myself into the shot. It's like, oh really? Oh, is that what's happening?
I don't know if this is on your list, Keaton, but I'm curious. Have you ever done the heel ref moment?
No. Want to.
You want to just
So
never had it
badly.
happen? Yeah.
I've been the perennial babyface my entire career. Like I just
Even as a wrestler.
like I've only done heel work, I want to say a handful of times. The first time I did it, I was not ready, and it failed miserably. But then a couple of years later, I got to try it again, and I was fully ready for it. But I only got 1 or 2 shots, and then that was it. So,
Well, speaking of heel and babyface, and because you said you were wrestling as a babyface, and
Mhm.
so this is a good question for a babyface then, because I know
Sure.
this is something I always had dealt with. Have you ever been in with a weak heel that doesn't do his job to get heat, and
Mhm.
then now you're in a situation where if they don't like you, they don't like you. You know, you have to really be liked. You've ever been in that situation where this heel just wasn't doing his job right to to generate the heat?
This was actually the reason for my second heel turn. It was so it originally started as a face. Mid match, I did the turn based off the crowd reaction.
Because just wasn't working.
They weren't getting behind me. They were cheering the other guy. So I was
Yeah.
like, right, we're going to switch this up now in a second. So, plus they weren't doing their job as a babyface. So I just said, right, switch up. I'm going to heel. So
Well, see, you're smart about it. At least I had it happen where I was supposed to be a babyface and I got booed because of something happening to the other guy. He wasn't a heel, but we weren't supposed to both be. We were supposed to be both. I started getting booed. I didn't know how to react to that. So I kind of started fighting it. Like what the heck? So I trying to do what they want. Everything I did, they were against me on.
that was me the first time I went heel.
Yeah.
Like it just, I came in with plans like, right, gonna be absolute face this, and structured out really nicely. And it was also a great reminder of don't plan out everything
Yeah.
because things will change.
You got to be able to call
And
an audible.
yes,
Yeah.
and come the day of like the match, promoter just decided like, right, you're going heel in this. What, like, am I turning during it? No, you're coming out as a heel. That doesn't make sense. Like, they don't know me enough to hate me. Like, it was just a terrible match because of it. Like, so
Right.
again, this was early in my career, so just did not have the smarts to be able to like, okay, adapt to that.
Right, or just get the
I
crowd to hate you.
Yeah, I
Start
couldn't
insulting,
bounce
do
back from it.
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with a masked character that doesn't speak.
Right. That doesn't help. Yeah.
That does not help. Like, even with stuff I was doing, I was trying to be all panta and like, mind games, stuff like that. Just physical,
Well,
like,
if
kind
I
of
couldn't
movements.
speak, if it was me and I couldn't speak, I would just look for the nearest person at ringside with a sign and grab it and rip it up.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Didn't have the mindset like at the
Yeah.
time, like so.
I'm
But
trying to
like
think what else you could do. I mean, literally. I mean,
yeah,
if you can't
there's not a
speak.
lot you can do. It was doomed to fail. So
And Keaton, you've had that happen a number of times with your signs getting ripped up, right?
Yep. That's what you gotta do as a heel, I suppose.
it is like, I know people say like, it's cheapy, but again, it's a clear indication of, okay, I am bad guy.
Yeah. You
like,
gotta
boo me.
you gotta set the stage, and if that's what
Yes.
you do in the beginning, it's just the initial things you do. Once you start getting the boos, they'll keep coming.
Yes.
It's just you gotta light the fire. So you gotta do
Mhm.
something.
And before we get there, next question, should I bring in the watch along now?
Oh, I
Roger.
didn't even know we had one. Yeah, let's bring in the watch along. So I don't see it or anything because you have
Yeah, I'm already on.
you're gonna share it with us.
Taking a minute to download, so
In the meantime, while you're bringing the watch along in, and it's fine if it comes in, we'll still keep asking questions anyway. It's like a slideshow presentation, huh? Okay.
Oh,
yeah, and then I can send you a watch along.
this is recent.
Yep.
Mighty Molly was saying, Niall, you love coming up to Belfast. The Europa is always a great day. Is that where you do the shows?
So yes, normally we do a show in Dublin, and then we do a show in the Europa, which is in Belfast City.
Okay.
So, yeah, we enjoy going up. Like, it's fun. Like, it does be a nice cap off to a good weekend as well. So again, it like what she said, it's a great day because we enjoy wrestling. We want to enjoy it as much as you do. So, yeah.
I remember there's a recent promoter here in the United States that had mentioned about referees reacting, how you get your arms up and like that. And I was doing it too. But I noticed this guy, and I'm not going to say any names either, because I don't. They may be watching or catch this in replay. But they always saying one of his criticisms with refs is don't overdo it. Don't react with your arms overly, like do it too much, where you're doing it every single time they do a spot, right? Is that, you believe that too to be true?
I do believe that, like, okay, too much, yeah, but it's it's tougher to rein yourself in, especially if you have that habit. I know I do. I'm naturally animated because, like, I spent years in a mask learning how to emote with my body without being vocal. So that transferred over to when I referee, and just it's a skill that I just haven't been able to get rid of.
Right.
But I can see the argument for, like, doing it too much, and but at the same time, there's far too many referees that don't react at all.
They don't do it at all or get in the way. That's the other thing. That was my big thing when I was refereeing. Like, I got to stay out of the action. I don't know what they're going to exactly do, so I don't want to be in the way.
Because like, a lot of the time I do look at it, and basically some people may not watch the match, they may watch the referee. And the simple reason for that is, if they look at a referee and he's just big superplex happens, nothing,
and he doesn't do anything,
they don't care. Whereas, like, big superplex happens, like, oh my god, like you're reacting, like, because you're there, you're right beside them when it happens, so you're feeling the impact as well.
right?
So if you sell it as well, then they're like, oh, it must be bad. Oh, he's checking on him, right? Like, it must be bad. Like,
well, and as a former wrestler, you know when the big spots are, so you know when you want to react and that kind of thing. So it's easier for guys like you and me that have been in there doing it, to know when that reaction should be. Here's another comment too. Darren says, Carlito was cool too. Is there a lot of work behind the scenes to get big names over?
yes, money.
Yeah, money, I suppose, right?
Sorry, money is the biggest thing, but it's 50-50 with, like, so money is, like, the biggest. Like, can you pay them? Are they worth, like, paying for?
Yeah.
But also scheduling. If their schedule doesn't work out, sorry, you don't get them. Simple as. Like, there has been times where we have changed the date because, okay, we can either get this person who was lower card on WWE years ago, or we can change our date to the next week and get someone who was main event.
Sure.
Sometimes that is actually a decision that has to be made.
Yeah.
Yes, this will cost more, but will the return be better? Probably yes. And we have been proven wrong as well. Sometimes we'll get someone who was, like, back in the day. Like, we've had Sky Too Hotty a fair few times.
Mm-hmm.
He normally, like, tends to do one of our shows, like, when he's on a European tour. And he's fantastic to have around because he's been there, done that. Like, he knows the stuff, but he understands what he brings to a show. And it's fantastic to just watch because
Stunner.
Of course, had to be the ref spot, but it's but again, he understands that, like, okay, like, people want to see my entrance, people want to see the warm, like, that's really it. They don't want to see wrestling, they want to be entertained, they want to feel engaged, they want to enjoy themselves, and that's why we keep having him back, because that's what he brings when he comes over. So it's also knowing what they can bring to your show, because wrestling's a variety and you need to appeal to everything.
Yeah.
So.
And then Mighty Molly says it must be some buzz when you see some of the trainees breaking through and getting call-ups like LJ Cleary, Mila Grace, etc.
Absolutely. Like, I've been very fortunate that I get to see the journey of a lot of people from their first matches or even their first days training and their first matches to their milestone matches where they may face their first import. They may go for their first title. They may go work for a new promotion. It could be first main event. Like, they could even get signed. It like, I get to see this journey, like, and more often than not, I feel just as much joy for them as if it were me myself. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, and I love it. I love seeing more people like actually break through as well.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a big thing in wrestling as well. You know, it just proves the training that the School of Irish Wrestling bring. A lot of these people might not have been trained from the School of Irish Wrestling, but I suppose they did do a couple of training sessions there, um, and then the training that Joker Bray handles out, it's obviously pays off a lot for loads of different wrestlers, and that's why OTT is such a success, I suppose.
It is like the School of Irish Wrestling like has the best coaches that we can have. Like, you have Joe Cabray, who, like, former NXT talent, like, been there, world travel promoter, like, and owner of OTT, but very heavily experienced like wrestler in his own right. You have Paddy Morrow, like, who is one of, if not the best produced wrestler that we have, and he just has a mind for it. Knows every little tricks of the trade. Just will give you bits of tidbits from history that will help you in your matches, or give you just a nice perspective on how to structure a match. You have Sean Max Guinness, who, like, again, long tenured veteran as well. Like, he's been there over 20 years as well, and world traveled. But he's heavily set in Japan. Like, he did the dojos, he did the training system there. He had a long stint over there for a couple of years, but he's also a high. Ireland is more of a hybrid style, because a lot of our lads will travel out and learn something, pick up something new from where they go, bring it back, and teach to everyone else. So that's why we're a hybrid. It's just a blend of everything, and so we're not like a set style. That's why I like to prefer the hybrid title. But the coaches that are there, like Phil Boyd is an amazing coach, like, for Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. Like, it just, some of the people that he has produced, like, he's produced LJ Cleary, Michael May, you have Jenny Mack, like, you have Jay Steins, you have Fabio, Martin Steers. Like, there's a longer list that people have produced. Paul Tracy, like, as I said, if it wasn't for him, Finn Balor, like, wrestling wouldn't exist here. Like, you wouldn't have a Joe Cabray, you wouldn't have a Paul Tracy, Paddy Morrow. Like, so it feeds into the others. So, and it's only amazing to see, like, how people evolve over the years. Not only that, you never know who will. Wrestling may not be for you, but you can always find something in wrestling that you excel at. So people will join with the blinkers on. Like, they'll go in full on, I want to be a wrestler. But sometimes that doesn't work out. So you have to have the maturity to be able to say, what else can I do to help wrestling, or help this show, or help this promotion? Okay, I will be a producer, I will be a cameraman, I will be an announcer, I'll be commentary, I'll be a referee. Like, there's always other aspects, and each one is equally vital to a show. Like, but a lot of people don't see that. So people always go in with the blinkers and just like, right, wrestling. But for the people that do, they're the ones that bring value to your show, because they know exactly what they're good at, they know what they bring, and they will do that to the utmost of their ability. So that's why, like, OTT works really well, because a lot of people that know full well what they can bring to the table. And that's not to say that no one else can do it. Like, we want more people to be able to do it. Like, For God's sake, I would love there to be more referees on the scene, but there's not, and it's crazy to me. Like I'd love to be working everywhere in the country, but I can't. I can't make every show. It's just the way it is. I can only stretch myself so far. But
Well, I think too, the other thing with like other promotions, a lot of times they have their in-house refs already set, and so there's that too. Like I'm sure, like in Northern Ireland, they have Titanic and they have NIPW, for example, and they have refs, each of them. So it's harder. Where I think wrestlers can cross borders a little bit more easier than referees, is what I'm trying to say. You know,
and yes, they can. Like it is a lot easier for a wrestler to get booked than a referee. But
yeah,
when you have the biggest promotion in Ireland is Over the Top Wrestling, and you only have one referee, it's like, I wonder if they'll need another one. Sure, maybe I should get in touch and like try to learn a few bits about what I can do to get better.
yeah.
When they don't, they like staying in their bubble, and it's unfortunate. Like that'd be like, oh yeah, like I have access to A, B, and C that can teach me at like XYZ, but I'm not gonna do it. Why? Don't know. Like, but that's the way some people are.
Yeah.
Like they have full access, they're only a message away, but choose not to.
Yeah.
So whereas like I like to work as much as I can wherever I can, simply because I don't like the idea of being complacent. I want to work with everyone I can.
Sure.
I want to help them, because you can't teach experience. Like, it's just the way it is. And I would have killed for someone to come along and teach me how to be a ref, but there was no one. I had to learn on the job. Whereas I want to teach, and no one wants to have me do it.
And if you're refereeing appropriately, it's a workout, and like it's hard for one person to do a whole show. That's why if you ever notice, most people, they have a couple, at least 2 or 3 refs, so they can alternate them just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Like I make no secret about it. Like, again, I want there to be more referees, because again, I'm not getting any younger. Let's be honest. And not only that, in the off chance that I was to get hurt, it means that Over the Top Wrestling is stuck. That means they have to import a referee. That's an extra cost, like, which is unnecessary. But it is necessary because we don't have one that can perform at a high level,
right?
Like in the country. So, yeah, it's just the way it is, and it's a shame. But that's why I normally make it if I know someone is traveling abroad and they're a referee that I know, that I've become aware of, like, and they're coming to the country, like, on the day we have a show, if they have the gear, I will try my best to get them on the show, simply because it's easier for me, it's better for the show, and it's also great for them because they get the experience of working with a big promotion that works extremely well, and they can also pick the brain of me.
Sure.
And that's not to say, like, okay, like, I'm the be all end all. It's just the fact that you can always learn from anyone. Like, and if I was to go to the UK, I'd be picking the brains of, like, the referees over there, because there's more of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of them over there than there is over here. So surely there must be something going on if they're there. I need to pick the brain of them. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And what a lot of people maybe don't understand is how important the referee is in a match. You know, well, a lot of people think it's just, the 2 wrestlers, and all referees have to do is count someone out or pinfall them or disqualify them. But it's really not the easiest job in the world at all. Especially if, like, someone is accidentally, if the referee was accidentally didn't see something, and he was knocked out by an accident, and there is a lot of training and stuff taken with referees, like bumps. So what's the hardest bump you've ever taken?
I'll tell you, the worst bump I've ever taken was actually the most simple bump. And so it's the generic, like, go for the count, 1, 2, someone pulls you out, and you take the spill on the floor. Easy bump, like face bump. This happened to me on one show. Boom, took the bump. I thought, okay, grand. Went to go stand up, and suddenly I'm back on the ground. I lost the power of my legs because there was a shock wave that went up my body. Wherever angle I landed, hit a nerve, which just dropped me to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's the most simple thing, but that is one of the worst bumps. I know the Gunter drop kick is nasty looking, like absolutely nasty, and it's supposed to be nasty. So what I love about my job is the fact that, like, okay, I do have the experience of being a wrestler, so therefore I know how to bump. But the caveat, unfortunately, is that a referee is not meant to look like they are a wrestler, so they can't bump like a wrestler. They have to bump like you are the proxy for the average Joe Soap. So you should never look like you know what you're doing when you fall.
Right.
So therefore, most of the time, I'd rather someone hit me really hard in the face, and there you go. Is that It's the Mick Foley approach, unfortunately.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that because, like, and I took this clothesline from Ricky. I said, Ricky, I want you to clip me. Don't tap me. I want you to really hit me. Because I wanted it to look real, just for what you're just saying. And he did. Got me in the face though instead of the chest, but that's fine. He says I pre-bumped it. There's no damn pre-bump. He just it was my fault. I threw his opponent out of the way and he had to hurdle him, so he got too high.
Yeah.
I caused this. But no, the other thing I was gonna say too is you were mentioning about you were talking about when you were saying all that stuff, you mentioned something about where or Keaton, you said it was important because a referee is very important in the match and everything. And that's so true, because like, not just in case something goes wrong, but just somebody has to be there's a reason the referee's in charge, because the referee has to guide the entire match really, besides the wrestlers. For example, like, for instance, let's say in a match, something doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. It doesn't go the way it's supposed to. And, who's going to make the calls? Like, I'll give you an example. When I was in the PWA, I didn't know you couldn't go off the top rope. Okay. See, this is back in the days when going off the top rope was still just new. And Eddie still had the rule you couldn't go off the top rope. In the NWF, we were going off the top rope. So when we went into his show, I went up off the top rope a number of times. It was part of my deal. And their referee, Bruce Kreisman's like, we got in the back. He's like, I almost disqualified you. And I said, why? He's like, you went off the top rope. I said, you can't do that? He's like, no, not here. So, but he was smart enough to understand that I wasn't from the company. So he let it go. Or if you get an inexperienced referee that doesn't know, that's what I mean, being in charge of the match, knowing how to make the call when things don't go the way they're supposed to, that in your mind,
like so a referee can dictate the pace of a match as well. So, and a referee, like a good referee, should be able to read a crowd in terms of like their reactions, and if they're not responding to something that's happening, but they're responding to something else, you can inform them a later match. It's like, okay, they're not into this, change it into this, work into this spot instead. You'll get a reaction. Like you can dictate, like you can call spots to them just to help them, because you're trying to benefit the show.
Right.
You don't want people going out and seeing the same thing over and over again. But like you can help, especially if you're refereeing two lads having their first matches. Like you are there to help guide them along. You're a player coach, and you have to be able to, like, okay, do you remember what you're doing? No? Okay. Put a rest hold on. Right, we'll work from there. Put a rest hold on. Right. Catch your breath. Okay. You're gonna work up 3 shots, hit the rope, duck a line, crossbody. Like, then we'll work from there. Hopefully they'll remember after, but once they get past that spot, again, it tends to go back to normal.
Right.
But it's but an inexperienced referee wouldn't know to do that. Like, wouldn't have the confidence to say, like, okay, do this instead. It's like you have to be comfortable enough to be able to say, okay, crowd aren't responding to this, right? Pander to the crowd, get some heat, or pop the crowd, do a pose, like something like. So you have to be able to communicate in that regard, and it does. It benefits immensely. Like,
Yeah. And then when you say gear, like back in the day, our refs always wore wrestling boots. Is that still a thing? Do the refs still wear boots, or is that not a factor anymore?
I'm not required to wear wrestling boots anymore. Like, I wear black and white like sneakers, which they don't look out of place. They're comfortable, especially if I'm gonna be up and about for like 3 hours. It's like straight, so I need to be comfortable. But no, I'm not required to wear boots. I know some do. Like,
Yeah.
if you were to go to Japan, like, they still do. They wear like either their training boots or they wear full on wrestling boots.
Right.
Which is, it's amazing, but I don't think I could do that. I know I have wrestling boots, but I don't think I could get away with wearing nice shiny black things and just like, yeah, like, but.
Well, I didn't wear my, first of all, my boots wouldn't fit anymore, and I have them still, but they're just not, I think they were a size or too small. I couldn't get into them if I wanted to. So I just did like you, I just wear nice black black sneaker type shoes. That's what I wore when I did it, but I figured
I don't think
appropriate enough.
I don't think it's a requirement anymore. I think once it blends in, doesn't attract too much attention away from what's going on, which is absolutely fine. Like, again, you can be comfortable, and especially like this day and age where like not everyone can wear normal shoes anymore. Like, they might have to have custom insoles. They might have to wear certain corrective shoes just to help them. So, yeah, it makes sense that they can wear something that's more comfortable.
Well, here's a question I think is kind of interesting. Let's see what we say here, because it's from Ice Cream Reviews in Northern Ireland. What's your favorite flavors of ice cream, lads? This is something a little different.
Is this looking for the sponsorship, is it? This would be great. Whatever your brand is, that's our favorite.
Well, he's asking what flavor. What's the favorite flavor?
It's a close tie between strawberry ice cream or mint chocolate chip. So, they'd be my top two.
What about you, Keaton?
I think either honeycomb or white chocolate.
Honeycomb?
Ooh. Honeycomb it's nice, yes.
I've never even heard of it. That must be an Ireland thing.
Or I'm
a
trying
Europe
to think
thing.
the best way to describe it. It's almost like
like Honey Nut Cheerios?
kind of, but it's more like a honey nugget.
Okay.
Like, it's like solidified, but you can bite it, and it's sweet. So, but that's sprinkled in within the ice cream itself.
That sounds
and it's actually it gives it a nice nice flavor to it.
So one thing I wish I would have done when I was over there is go to the ice cream place we talked about, Keaton. Never made it to that ice cream place. But then I don't know, for me, raspberries is good if you get real raspberry ice cream, like that's actual, not the artificial stuff. Otherwise, Neapolitan. You guys have Neapolitan, right?
Yeah.
I always like that one too. And then another question. Darren says, do you still get nervous before shows? What's your top tips for staying calm and focused?
Yes, I still get nervous. I feel that if you're not nervous, then you should pack up, like, because again, I mean, I know some people say you don't care. I think everyone does care. It's just having nerves is healthy for what you're doing. It means that you're focused on what you have to do. It reminds you to stay focused. But everyone has their own rituals before shows in terms of like what gets them calm. Some people recite like the alphabet Olympics. Some people like do a bunch of jumping jacks. Some people do like chug a can of Monster before they go out. So everyone has their own little routines. Me, I do a little bit of a little bit of a sprint, like jogging on the spot before I go out, and take a deep breath, and then I walk out, and then I just relax. Like,
Yeah.
so it's absolutely crazy because I've only talked to a few people and they agree. It's the fact that like as soon as we step through the curtain, like boom, the threshold of the curtain, boom, whatever nerves you have, it goes away. But then you either switch into persona, character, or if you're young, like new into the business, then you're more focused on what's next, what's next, what's next,
Right.
what's
You
next.
get the tunnel vision in the match.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
like I understand because I was there. I done it. As it got more experience, I realized like less is more, and planning out less is a lot better for your mental health as well, because it means that the less you plan out, the more chance you have to engage a crowd. And the
Right.
more you engage a crowd, the more they'll give back. Because at the end of the day, the crowd are what makes shows happen. You need a crowd to make a show happen. Like you could do shows to no one, but it won't be fun.
Right.
Like that's fun for no one. Like yes, you may want to wrestle, but it's not fun. Whereas having fun is you bring as much enjoyment to everyone. And if the fans are doing it, that's the greatest vindication ever, because it shows that what you're doing is paying off.
Yeah.
I've earned this right to perform in front of you. I've earned like your reaction through
Yeah.
something I've done. So it's a great way to motivate you to get better. It's a great way to just give you a more relaxed approach to when you plan matches or plan shows. It's just easier.
I know, like when you were saying how you gotta, how we were talking about how it's important, your referees gotta, catch everything. And this match that I did with those guys, there was going to be a closed fist that Ricky was going to do that I had to catch. Now that sounds easy, but they were doing all these elbows, like this stuff and this and this, and that can be so easily a closed fist.
Yes.
You could miss it so easily, right? So I'm watching this and I'm like, I'm watching like a hawk because I do not want to miss my spot because I don't know where it's going to happen. I just got to remember when I see the closed fist, I got to warn them.
Yep.
And it's like, and when you think about it as a ref, all these quick elbows and forearms and this and that and everything else, palm strikes. Was there a fist in there? You could easily. That's where a good referee. I can see where a good referee is a good referee and will not miss that kind of thing.
Like it's. And plus, like it does come down to comfort as well. Like if you're comfortable and you understand the people that you're working with, you'll be able to see it. And whereas if you're super high vigilant, like yes, it's handy. Like it'll definitely do the job, but it should be a surprise. Whereas if you're hyper focused, it almost looks like, okay, when's it happening?
Right.
Oh, there it is. Hey, no, none of that. It's like, whereas like if you're in the moment and reacting to it, it's like, okay, I'm watching it, right? Defend yourself. Yeah, boom. Like,
No.
keep that hand open. Stop with the fucking
The way
fist.
the way I do it, I just watching it when I see it was legal. Like I'd let them know forearm or letting them know that it was all legal. Because I know the commentators are saying like that looked like a close. I could hear them. That looked like a closed fist. So I'd start reacting, saying, "Hey, was this?" So if letting them know.
That one's the tough part, because if you can hear the commentary, that distracts you so bad.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you kind of want to turn around and it's like, no, it wasn't. Like, get your eyes checked. I'm right here.
It's funny you say that because Ricky was saying, like, the commentators are saying he heard afterwards when he heard him, he said, "Oh, he's telling him that was a 3 count." And Ricky's like, "I never said that. I just said 2. It was 2." He was just questioning it. Was it 2? Okay, 2. Like he was just reiterating. He never once said, "Hey, that was a 3 count."
or like you go for a count and people is like, that was a 3, ref. It's like from the outside. It's like, no, that was a 2. That was 2. It's like come on, 2. It gets more aggressive then. It's just like, yep, there you go. That's my sort of way of like, right, I see you, I've acknowledged you. Now, fuck off. but we can have fun again. Like that, I think that's part of what made me such a babyface, because I engaged the crowd. Like
Right.
I wasn't afraid to engage when it was necessary. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it was just purely out of like annoyance. Like if everyone's on a double down and I'm in the middle of a count and someone is counting ahead of me, that annoys the ever loving like crap out of me. Like it annoys me so much
Except
because like
except when it's a missed 3 count. Like if you're down and then you have to get up and get the 3 count late, they'll obviously be counting where it
yeah,
should be, right?
that's
Like, and-
fine for that
yeah.
spot. That makes sense. But like
Yeah.
in other moments of a match, nah, I don't need it every time. But
I remember I was in a match with Pretty Boy Taylor. Remember him, Keaton? And
Yeah,
the referee was counting us out of the ring, right? Doing the count.
Mhm.
And the crowd started doing it with the ref. You know, they're counting with him. And I remember Steve looks at the crowd and goes, "What are you counting for?" The crowd. I thought that was hilarious.
but that's good.
Yeah.
That's someone who knows how to work with a crowd.
Yeah.
Like you're taking what's been given to you and you're reacting.
Right. Like
So-
as a heel should do, right? Now Matthew Rodriguez joined in late and he said, "How long have you reffed in wrestling and how many years?" Well, I think we covered this. It's been what, 15 or 16 years reffing?
So 15 years as a referee. I've been involved in wrestling for 19 years.
19.
So
So 4
long
years.
time.
4 years
Long-
wrestling initially.
Yeah. Like
And then also he said he's got another question. He says, "How is Gunther, aka Walter,
backstage.
backstage behind the scenes? And also, did Gunther teach you or told you I am going to drop kick you? And Walter drop kicks are brutal. I'll leave the F out."
yeah. Like, what's he like backstage? Lovely. Like if you strike up a conversation with him, he'll happily sit there and talk to you.
Yeah.
When he's planning a match, it's actually fairly easy, like to go over stuff with him, which is actually what you want from someone. Like that's why he's like where he is, like super professional, like super like just fairly easygoing, knows what he wants to do. And in regards to the drop kick, all that I was told was like, okay, we have the spot, and I'm gonna move, and you're gonna take the drop kick. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. That's it. It's like just I just said it. It's like I don't care. Hit me. Like I'm there to take the shot. So like that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry for context. Yes, Matthew. Like I don't mind getting hit. Like it's one of the things that I can provide to a show is that I can bump and sell like a madman.
Yeah,
So,
and that's just because you've been in there wrestling, and I'm the same way. When I was, even though I've been away from it for decades, I was not afraid of doing a ref bump.
no, like
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it at all. Like I think like I'm happy to do anything for a show, and happy to do anything for a match once it makes sense. So it has to make sense for the context of the match, but also in the overall theme of a show. Because I don't want to be doing a spot here, and then the next match is going to require me to do something either similar or like that goes against what we just did in the previous match.
Sure.
Like, so
Keaton, we're getting to the end of the show. Do you have any other questions yet that you want to get to?
But yeah, we've only got maybe 2 more. So I want to know what's the future for Niall Fox?
the future for me, work as much as I can wherever I can. I would like to teach more. I'd love to do more stuff up north. I really would. Hopefully that'll be on the books like down the line, maybe. But no, I enjoy coaching. When I'm asked my opinion on things, I'll give it. I love giving constructive criticism as opposed to just turning down an idea. I think that it's more beneficial for a person if you explain why it's a bad idea. So
Right.
if I'm critiquing someone about their match, if I say like, look, you need to be careful about this, and here's why. This is going to cause this down the line. If you're going to use it, then do it in this spot instead. I'll switch it to this part here. Like
Right.
I'll give an actual reason for why I'm saying this, because constructive criticism is a lot better feedback than no criticism
Right.
or no feedback at all.
Yeah.
And it means that you have something to go off, but it's also nice to be able to, when asked for, I can give my 2 cents on it.
And you even said something very interesting there, because you said you love to give your advice when asked for, your opinions when asked for, and that's good, because a lot of guys do it when it's not. There's that kind of an old rule of thumb, and that is we don't want unsolicited advice, right? Promoters in general. But if they ask for it, they definitely want to hear what you have to say. So it's always good. It's good that you know that because sometimes people will come along and they'll just try to be a know-it-all, right? And say that, and they're just going to give that advice when it's not asked for. Is what I'm trying to say.
Everyone, look, opinions. We all know what they're like.
Yeah.
Everyone has one.
Yeah.
Whether we listen to it is a different story. But I do believe that there is a little bit of credence to it, in the sense that if you're talking to 5 people and 3 of those people bring up 1 point, that's something you need to work on. That's something you need to fix. It's like, this has popped up too many times for me to like ignore it.
Sure.
So there's always a little bit of credence to it.
Yeah.
But you should never
when it's warranted.
Yes, when it's warranted, great. But if it's unnecessary, like just right, this is bad. Why is it bad? I don't know. I just don't like it. It's like, why do you not like this person? I don't know. Why? Is it because they're a heel? Yeah, because they're a heel. Are they good at it? No.
Or I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, that's not enough. Keaton, what else? What was your final question then?
So for aspiring trainees trying to be a referee involved in wrestling, what advice would you give them?
So this will be the how I kind of approached it. What do I not like a referee to do? So I don't want them being in the way. I don't want them being distracted. I want them to be engaged. I want to be able to communicate with them. So that means that they can't be at the corner and I'm in the middle of the ring. Like if I'm at taking a big bump and they're over there, I can't call anything to them. So that's why I'm never afraid to actually move in and check on them. It's like, you good? That's me signaling to them. It's like, right, do you need anything? Do you want me to call something? It's like, no, I'm good. Okay. Or like just understanding, like having an understanding of wrestling and spots and the psychology of a match makes it so much easier. So arming yourself with a good foundation, being able to bump, sell, feed, but also to be able to communicate. They will help you immensely, but don't be afraid to, you will make mistakes. It's a given, but learn from them. And Janie Mac, like, see, it's weird to put it into a nutshell, like what I'd give, but again, it's a lot of information to throw at someone in one go. But if I was to give you 5 different points, even if you were to just take one of them and improve on that by the next time I see it, great. That's a win in my book, because it means that you're actively looking to better yourself in this regard. The others can fall into place later. It didn't happen overnight where I was good at this. It took years. Like, the moves came naturally to me, but the psychology of a match and why we do what we do, that took years. Through actually working the different shows, different territories, different towns, listening to a crowd, listening to the people that I work with, but also learning what they like to do, what they don't like to do.
Yeah.
It's immensely helpful to them. If I can go like this is how I do it, like during the show. So like if I've already found out what I need to know, for say for example, there's 3 matches in the second half, I'd be like, I will literally be backstage and I'd be like, clothesline lariat, right? Powerbomb into top rope, distraction and this, good, yeah, go right, gone, boom, like things like that, like mental tricks in order to help myself. But it's immensely helpful to them because they know, oh, he's got it. And the worst case scenario, I just have to get reminded when they come out. They could be main event. It's like, just reminder, clothesline top rope, or no, it's this and this. Grant, gotcha. Like,
Yeah.
these things can help you. Like, it might seem silly or ranty, but it's immensely helpful in terms of like trying to break down. Remember I said about not planning out too much?
Right.
That applies to referees. If you know every single detail of a match, your brain be fried. So I just,
Right.
the main bits I'm needed for, the finish and any particular spot.
Yep. That's what you need
Okay.
to be aware of, especially for a ref bump. Like I asked the guys when I did the ref bump, I said, "No, what are you going to do that's going to cue me? What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, they did the modern day brainbuster, which I wasn't familiar with. And it's a good thing they told me suplex, because if they would have said brainbuster, I'd have been looking for a brainbuster."
Mm-hmm.
But they did the newer version where it looks more like a suplex. But they told me suplex, so when I seen the suplex, I knew, then I know the ref bump's coming, right?
Yep.
That's you're right. That's all I want to really know. I don't need to know everything else. I just need
Exactly.
to know. I need to know that though.
Don't
So
get
at
me
least
wrong.
prepare for it,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, as a referee, it's a great job because you get to be the fly on the wall with all these different names that you get to work with and find out, like, okay, they like to do this when they plan matches. They like to plan out like this. Sometimes they don't even plan out anything and just go out to the ring, which is a rarity, and I love it. It's amazing, like, to be able to just go off the cuff. I love it because not many people can do it. Like, everyone tries to plan out every single detail nowadays.
right?
So it's very refreshing. Like I'm one of those, like, I prefer off the cuff because it's more fun. I can do it. Plus there's less planning. It's more just on the fly.
Right.
And it means you can better adapt to a situation if something goes awry.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not responding to this at the start. It's like, okay. I reffed a match with Jeff Cobb versus Ricochet in Belfast for Over the Top Wrestling a few years ago. And all they knew was a finish. All they knew before they went out was a finish. Like, you're over, right, it's going to be this finish. How they got there, all on the fly.
Well, that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you would talk about maybe a major spot. Other than that, you talked about the finish. Everything else was just done in the ring.
Yeah.
It was very
Like,
normal.
It is a rarity, and I can understand why. I do understand why, but at the same time, it's like, it's refreshing in this day and age to see that there's some people that still do it.
Yeah.
Like, and not only that, when you have a referee that can actually keep up as well. Like they didn't have to tell me anything, like, which is great. Like, great and bad at the same time, because either they don't trust me or it's just they didn't want to bother. Like,
right.
But by the same token, it's like, okay, like, I've worked with you before. I've worked with you before, so you know that I'm good. So, it's like, what's the finish? I need to know before I go out, lads.
Yeah.
This is the finish. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you need to at least know the finish. I mean, that's bare minimum, right?
Yeah. That's it. That's all they ask. Give me a finish. I don't care. Like, whatever it is you're setting up to go into it, like, just give me the finish. That's the one piece of thing, like, piece of the match that I need to know.
Right.
Other spots can be called to me, but the finish is the be all end all. Like, that's set in stone. It has to. Don't get me wrong, an audible can be called, like, depending on what way the match goes. So you have to be able to listen to that and be like, okay. Count.
But I'll tell you something. It's been a fascinating interview, Niall, but we're going to wrap the show up. hang with us if you don't mind.
Sure.
We're just going to go to just me and Keaton here. We're just going to talk about what's coming up, and then we're going to wrap the show up. So, Keaton, fascinating interview
Yeah,
with
that was a fun
Niall.
interview.
Man, I mean, so it's like the first time we've had a referee, an actual, that's
Mhm.
what he's doing, right? And so it was just fascinating to hear from a referee's perspective. I thought it was great. And I mean, do you think so too?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on our future shows quick, and then we're going to wrap up the show. We went a little longer than usual, but that's fine. What we got coming up this Thursday over on NWF's channel, NWF Wrestling channel, it will be the Summer Sizzler at the Anoka Armory. This one was the least, I always say, was our least attended event because first one was 300 plus, and the second one was sold out with over 400 and some. In this event, we had 50 people, and I'm not going to get into the details, Keaton. You know why that happened, but
Yep.
it's going to be the first half of this show, so it's going to be a great one. And Dixie Dave will be with me, of course. Looking forward to that. That's July 17th, Thursday. We'll watch the first half of that show. And then after that, your next show, Keaton, is going to be Heavy Metal Gary Gibson. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
So heavy metal Gary Gibson is one of the most popular wrestlers on Titanic Wrestling. He's really coming far in wrestling. He's only been on wrestling matches for about a year maybe, and he's a really quick learner. He's the current All Ulster champion, a real fan favorite in Titanic, the heavy metal character. So the current Titanic Wrestling All Ulster champion will be joining us here on Kayfabe Keaton on the 20th of July.
That sounds like a great interview, and that's the belt he has. You're saying?
Yeah.
You got in the pictures here? Yeah. Yeah, this would be a great interview. And this is coming up here in exactly 1 week from today. So yeah, we'll see what this is all about. So it should be a great show. And so yeah, it's been a great show. We enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed our interview with Niall. I thought it was just absolutely fascinating. So yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and catch us next when we are live. So for Kayfabe with Keaton, Wrestling Revolution
Right.
Keaton, Pressure Cross, and we'll see you next time we're on.